And just to the panel generally now, rehabilitation counselling has been viewed as quite variable in terms of the clients, the issues they present with, and the settings in which they operate. Can you please tell us a little bit about some of the core settings in which a rehabilitation counsellor might work?
There's no limit.
Yes.
I don't see a limit to the value of a rehabilitation counsellor. My own background, as I said, I've worked in occupational rehabilitation. I've had my own occupational rehabilitation business. I've worked in self-insurance. I've been the rehabilitation manager within an insurance company. I've worked for the regulator. So in terms of forming legislation and regulation and setting standards. So, from practice to, academia to any setting that you can think of in terms of injury and illness or disease and disability, there's a place for rehabilitation counsellors.
So it's more than return to work?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the difficult thing is that you often won't hear us calling ourselves rehabilitation counsellors. That might be part of the core competency that we have, but different settings have different terminology for describing the work, if you like.
The inherent skills and qualities that are required of a rehabilitation counsellor lend themselves to such a number and a variety of different allied health kind of settings, jurisdictions, and it could be hospital, public hospital, it could be public versus private, it could be Commonwealth versus state. I too have worked within TAC, the Transport Accident Commission, so in the regulator for compulsory third party claims, and I've worked in DES, which is what Greg referred to earlier, Disability Employment Services, JSA, Job Services Australia model, so working with the Commonwealth, with Commonwealth Centrelink clients. I've also do mediation, I also do conflict resolution, I've done some training, so, and I work in private practice, so I can, in a sense, the skills, confidence that I've picked up in working as a rehabilitation counsellor have given me that confidence to be able to jump into different things and get qualifications in related areas, to be able to work in those areas. And that again, I suppose, informs and feeds my knowledge and understanding, and I take a very holistic approach to injury. And as I said, that biopsychosocial model of an individual and I suppose their recovery.
So it sounds incredibly varied in terms of, I guess, the setting you can work with, and there's an opportunity for people to create their own pathways.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's been an attraction for many of us over many years, because you evolve in your practice and your interests and move into different sectors, and there is always opportunity opening. So the people that I know that have been in the field for a very long time continue to build on qualification and knowledge and learning, and that just therefore expands opportunity again. So you find where in institutional settings or community-based settings or industrial or occupational settings, we're everywhere, really.
And one of the key things I think you also learn and experience and hone as a rehabilitation counsellor is that ability to negotiate and problem solve, whether it's with the doctor, whether it's with an insurance claims person, whether it's with an OT or a physio, and allied health professionals that are involved with a particular client. So it's that ability to kind of have oversight over all the different modalities and treatment modalities that are involved, and be able to coordinate those, negotiate successful outcomes, whether it's return to health, return to work, or it could be non-work related, avocational goals, training, volunteer work, if it's not possible for that person to get back to work, to paid employment. These are all very, very important things, things that you learn as a rehabilitation counsellor, which you then apply. It can apply to a number of different settings. Career counselling, you do vocational assessments. And with this current, with the budget that was released last night, where they're looking at transitioning that welfare to work model, I suppose, again for the DSP recipients. I think they're the under 30s or 30 and under. That's going to present a really unique opportunity for rehab to put their stamp on things in terms of being able to assess and assist people to make that transition. So it's really exciting times.